Democratic Senator and former presidential candidate John Kerry is in Syria this weekend meeting with President Bashar Assad. The visit is widely seen as a sign that Washington may be looking for better relations with Damascus. CNN's Cal Perry is following the story and joins us now from Beirut with more. Cal, what seems to be Kerry's main initiative during this visit there?
Well, he's going to be talking to Syria about a number of issues, and when you look at where Syria is placed in the Middle East regionally with all these issues, it gives you an indication of why the U.S. is slowly changing its policy towards Syria. This is not a visit that Senator Kerry would have been able to undertake under the Bush administration, because when President Carter was doing these visits under the Bush administration, he was basically disavowed by the Bush administration at the time. In 2007, in April, this is what George Bush said. He said, "Photo opportunities and meetings with President Assad lead the Assad government to believe that they're a part of the mainstream international community, when in fact they're a state sponsor of terror." Now, even though the State Department still classifies Syria as a state sponsor of terror, we've seen a number of these delegations continuing to go to Damascus to meet with President Assad to talk to him about a variety of issues, the least of which is a broader Middle East peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis. It's important to remember that Hamas, the external leadership of Hamas, resides in Damascus. It's also important to remember that Syria shares a border with Iraq. So whether you're talking about a broader Middle East peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis, or whether you're talking about a substantial U.S. withdrawal, Syria is going to be key in both of those things.
Okay, Cal, you mentioned that former President Jimmy Carter did meet with Hamas during his visit. Is there a chance that Kerry will do the same?
We've heard from Senator Kerry's people. They say that he has no plans to meet with Hamas officials. In fact, there was a bit of a to-do over a letter that John Kerry received while he was in the Gaza Strip just a few days ago. It was passed to him, according to State Department officials from the United Nations. The State Department believes that that letter was drafted by Hamas. That letter is now at the consulate in Jerusalem. The Kerry people have said that he has no plans to meet with Hamas officials. But when you look at where Hamas is in the region, they're not only in Damascus, even though that's where their external leadership is, they're also in Egypt. That's where we understand there have been negotiations over the truce in Gaza with the Israelis. And the new Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, will actually be traveling to Egypt in about a week or so. It's not likely, but it's possible that she could perhaps reach out to Hamas on some level. Krishan?
Okay, Cal, before I let you go, could improving relationships between the U.S. and Syria eventually lead to talks with Hamas?
I think there's a potential that they could. I mean, the Obama administration has laid down a number of ground rules saying that Hamas needs to recognize the state of Israel, pretty much the same things that we've heard before about Hamas. But Obama is taking a far different approach to Syria than the Bush administration has, and it's already starting to show. I mean, as I said, this is not a meeting that Senator Kerry would have been able to have under the Bush administration. He certainly would have been taken a lot of bad press from the Bush administration, but the State Department has said as recently as last week that they wish to push forward more diplomatic relations with Syria, and Syria does hold the keys, at least geographically, to access to Hamas. So I do think that one could lead to the other.